Everyone thought Ethan Cole was just another quiet 15-year-old. Until the night he uncovered a secret so dangerous that even a billionaire fell to his knees. If you're watching this, don't blink. Because everything you're about to hear happened in just one night. And if you think this boy's life was ordinary, wait till you see what he discovered next. Welcome back, Moonlight Dreamers. And if you're new here, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because here, stories don't just find you. They claim your heart. Ethan always saw what others couldn't. While his classmates argued over games and gossip, his eyes stayed glued to the numbers dancing across his cracked tablet screen. Numbers from Gray Industries. The billion-dollar empire everyone said was too big to fail. But Ethan saw it clearly. The company wasn't sinking by accident. Something, or someone, was pulling it down. He zoomed in on a series of transactions buried deep in the data, money disappearing at the same exact time every night, amounts too precise to be coincidence, patterns too perfect to be natural. No way, Ethan whispered, his heart thudding. He rushed across his room, pulling out his notebook where he'd written weeks of quiet observations, red arrows, circles, timestamps, all pointing to one thing. This was sabotage. He tried telling people. His math teacher chuckled. His classmates rolled their eyes. His mom thought he was just overthinking again. So Ethan kept it to himself, until the moment his tablet vibrated. A new message. Private. Encrypted. The sender name froze his breath. Alexander Gray, Africa's youngest billionaire, owner of the collapsing empire. Ethan hesitated before tapping the message open. Inside was a file filled with desperate financial logs, confidential documents, and a single chilling sentence. "Please help me. You're the only one who noticed." Ethan's fingers trembled. This couldn't be real. How would a billionaire find him? A boy no one listened to. But attached at the bottom was a countdown clock, already ticking. 24 hours until total collapse. The last line made Ethan's stomach drop. "If you don't stop this, my company dies. And so do the people responsible." Ethan swallowed hard. Someone wasn't just sabotaging the company. They were willing to kill to keep it hidden. He grabbed his hoodie, stuffed his notebook into his backpack, and whispered, "If I don't act now, it's over." He flew down the stairs, into the stormy night, unaware that someone else had just accessed his device. Someone who wasn't supposed to know he received that message. As Ethan disappeared into the darkness, a shadowed figure typed 2 words into a hidden server. "The boy knows." And just like that, the hunt began. The unknown figure's message pulsed on the hidden server. "The boy knows." Miles away, Ethan sprinted through the rain-soaked streets, unaware that he had just been marked as a threat. His backpack thumped against his side, each step echoing louder in the empty night. He ducked under a street lamp, catching his breath. His mind spun. Why him? Why a 15-year-old? Why now? As lightning flashed, Ethan's thoughts flashed too. Memories he tried to bury. Flashback. 6 weeks earlier, Ethan stood in front of his math teacher, gripping printed charts. "Sir, look. These numbers don't add up. Gray Industries is losing money every night at the same time. It's intentional." The teacher didn't even lift his head. "Ethan, focus on your classwork. These are just business fluctuations. Don't distract others." Another flash. Ethan beside his locker, trying to show his classmates the strange patterns. They laughed. "Bro, you think you're smarter than billionaires? Go write your sci-fi movie somewhere else." He remembered standing alone, papers crumpled in his hands, wondering if maybe he was imagining it. But tonight proved he wasn't. Back in the present, Ethan wiped the water from his face as he reached the abandoned mall rooftop, his thinking place. He pulled out his notebook, flipping through pages of predictions that were now terrifyingly accurate. He opened the encrypted message again. "You're the only one who noticed." Those words repeated like thunder in his mind. Below the message, another file blinked. Ethan tapped it. A detailed log of transactions revealed something worse than he had expected. The amounts stolen were increasing every hour. Whoever was behind this wasn't slowing down. They were accelerating. Ethan's eyes widened. At this rate, the company won't last 12 hours. He stared at the dark skyline. There was only one logical move. He had to meet Alexander Gray. But how does a teenager even approach a billionaire? Ethan scanned the last line of the message again. If you want to help, come alone. Location will be sent when you're ready. Ethan hesitated. What if this was a trap? What if Alexander didn't send this at all? His tablet vibrated. A new message appeared. Coordinates. A time. 1:15 a.m. Old Harbor Warehouse. Come alone. Ethan's pulse hammered. That place was far. Dark. Abandoned. But he had no choice. If he didn't go, the company would die, and so might innocent employees who depended on it. He zipped his hoodie tighter and whispered, "People may not believe me, but I'm done waiting for their approval." He started walking. But as Ethan left the rooftop, a pair of eyes watched from across the mall, a man in a dark coat holding a phone pressed to his ear. "The boy is moving," the man whispered. "Yes, heading toward the meeting point." A pause. "Should we stop him?" The voice on the other end answered coldly. "No, follow him. If he meets Alexander, eliminate them both." The order cut through the phone like ice. If he meets Alexander, they eliminate them both. The man in the dark coat lowered his phone slowly, eyes fixed on Ethan's disappearing figure. Rain masked his steps as he followed at a distance. Ethan didn't look back. He walked fast, his shoes splashing through puddles, the weight of his decision pressing against his chest. His mother thought he was asleep. His classmates thought he was weird. The world thought he was nobody. But tonight, a billionaire needed him. When he reached the Old Harbor district, the air felt heavier, like the night itself was holding its breath. Giant rusted containers towered above him, their shadows stretching like monsters across the ground. The coordinates led him to a dim warehouse at the edge of the docks. Half of its lights flickered. The other half were broken completely. Ethan swallowed hard. "Come alone," the message had said. He pushed the metal door open. Inside, the place was dark except for a single lamp swinging overhead, casting shaky circles of light across the floor. Then Ethan froze. Someone was sitting on the ground, hunched, breathing shallowly, back against a steel crate. Alexander Gray. He didn't look like the billionaire from Forbes covers. He looked like a man drowning. His once famous suit was wrinkled and dirty. Dark circles rested beneath his eyes. His hands shook as he typed on a cracked laptop. Ethan stepped closer. Are you okay?" Alexander lifted his head slowly, and for a split second, Ethan saw something terrifying. Not fear, but defeat. "You came," Alexander whispered. His voice was hoarse, almost broken. "I didn't think you would." Ethan swallowed. "You said your company would collapse in 24 hours. Alexander let out a small, bitter laugh. "It's collapsing faster than that." He turned the laptop toward Ethan. Numbers scrolled violently across the screen. Red losses, hacked accounts, unauthorized withdrawals happening right now. "All my systems are compromised," Alexander said. "My board thinks I'm incompetent. Investors are pulling out, my partners. I don't know who to trust anymore." His voice cracked. "Someone inside is betraying me." Ethan stepped forward carefully. "You said I was the only one who noticed the pattern." Alexander nodded. "I've hired experts, analysts, cybersecurity teams, but they're looking in the wrong places. You saw the exact anomaly no one else saw." He leaned forward, desperation shaking his voice. "Tell me, Ethan, do you understand what's happening better than them?" Ethan hesitated, not out of fear, but out of the weight of responsibility. "I think someone built a shadow system beneath your financial structure, a hidden channel stealing money so slowly no one could detect it. Until now." Alexander's eyes widened. "You're 15. And I see patterns adults don't, Ethan said softly. Alexander looked at him for a long, heavy moment. Then, bang! A loud crash echoed through the warehouse. Alexander jumped to his feet. Did you come alone? Ethan's heart dropped. Yes. Another crash, this time closer. Alexander's expression darkened. They found us. He grabbed Ethan's arm. We have to leave. Now. But before they could move, the warehouse lights shut off. All of them. Pitch black. Then, footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Closing in. A voice echoed through the darkness. Ethan Cole. Alexander Gray. It's time for both of you to disappear.
The darkness pressed in on Ethan and Alexander like a living thing. The footsteps weren't human, too methodical, too precise. A shadow moved across the steel beams above, and a sudden metallic clink echoed through the warehouse. Ethan's pulse slammed against his ribs. Alexander grabbed his shoulder. Follow me. They navigated the maze of crates, stumbling over discarded equipment. Every shadow seemed alive. Every echo screamed danger. Finally, they reached the far corner of the warehouse. Alexander lifted a trapdoor, revealing a small, dimly lit office stacked with monitors and blinking servers, a temporary command center. This is it, Alexander whispered. We need to trace the sabotage before it's too late. Ethan dropped his backpack and powered up his own tablet. The encrypted data from the earlier message pulsed on the screen. He connected it to Alexander's servers. As lines of code streamed down, Ethan's eyes widened. There, he said, pointing at a hidden folder. Someone created a ghost account in your system. It's siphoning funds in billions. Everything else, it's just a smoke screen. Alexander leaned over, disbelief etched on his face. A ghost account? Someone is literally invisible inside my own system. How is that even possible? Ethan's fingers danced across his tablet. The pattern is deliberate. Only someone with deep access could do this, someone who knows the company inside out. Someone you trusted. Suddenly, the monitors flickered. Red warning signs blinked on every screen. Ethan's tablet froze. Wait, what's happening? He muttered. A cold, distorted voice echoed from Alexander's main terminal. Step any closer, kid, and you'll regret it. We've been watching. Stop, or the next mistake will cost more than money. Alexander stepped back, fury and fear warring in his eyes. They've got remote access to the servers, someone is controlling everything from somewhere else. Ethan's hands didn't stop moving, tapping, swiping, tracing the intrusions. He narrowed in on the ghost account, the hidden transfers, the fake approvals, the encrypted shadow channels. And then, just as he was about to reveal the culprit, his tablet beeped violently, then went dead. Every connected device shut down. The voice returned, louder this time. Curiosity will kill you, boy. Back off before it's too late. Ethan's stomach twisted. This wasn't just financial sabotage anymore. It was personal. Someone didn't just want the company destroyed. They wanted him stopped. Alexander's hand on his shoulder shook slightly. You think you're safe? Ethan shook his head. No, but I can't stop now. Whoever did this, they'll pay for every second of chaos they caused. A sudden crash against the warehouse door made them both jump. Footsteps. Fast. Multiple. Closing in. Alexander whispered, barely audible. They know we're here. And they're coming for us, now. The shadowy figure stepped into the flickering light, mask glinting under the warehouse lamps. Ethan's heart slammed, but he didn't flinch. Alexander stepped in front of him, protective yet tense. You've underestimated him, Alexander said to the intruder. The figure laughed, a cold, metallic sound. Underestimated? I'm just getting started, billionaire. Before Ethan could react, the intruder slipped out a sleek device and pointed it at Alexander's servers. Red warning lights flashed across the monitors. Ethan froze for a split second, then his mind kicked into overdrive. He swiped his tablet, routing a counterhack through the network. The intruder's device sparked and smoked. A grin spread across Ethan's face. "Not today," he muttered. The shadow vanished as suddenly as it appeared, leaving Ethan and Alexander panting and soaked in adrenaline. Alexander shook his head. That was close, too close. 3 hours later, word had spread across Gray Industries like wildfire. A 15-year-old boy is advising Alexander Gray on how to save the company. The board convened an emergency session. Their outrage was palpable. "Alexander," one board member snapped, pointing a finger, "we cannot allow a child to dictate company strategy." Another added, "This is absurd. He's a kid. Remove him immediately." Ethan stood silently in the corner, watching the board members, soaking in their disbelief. Alexander glanced at him, then nodded subtly. "Let him speak." Taking a deep breath, Ethan stepped forward. He pulled out the data he had recovered from the sabotage, the ghost accounts, the fake transfers, and the manipulated financial reports. He projected a holographic display in the middle of the boardroom. Numbers, charts, and timestamps flashed like a digital storm. "Look at these transactions," Ethan said, his voice steady but sharp. "These numbers don't add up. Someone created a fake financial report to make it look like the company is failing faster than it is. If you remove me now, this deception will continue unnoticed." The board members exchanged glances. Some scoffed. Some whispered nervously. None expected a teenager to articulate the betrayal with such precision. Alexander's voice rang out, cold and decisive. "This boy saved us from losing billions. And he will not be removed. Not until the saboteur is caught." Ethan's eyes scanned the room, landing on the most skeptical board member. "I've traced the fake reports back to the person who submitted them. They wanted you to panic, to sell, and to blame the wrong people. But we can stop it." Murmurs filled the room. Some board members looked furious. Others, terrified. And then Ethan's tablet vibrated. A single, encrypted message flashed. "They know you're exposing them. Time is running out." Ethan froze. Alexander's eyes narrowed. A bead of sweat ran down his temple. The main entrance doors slammed open, and a menacing voice boomed through the boardroom. The booming voice echoed off the walls, reverberating through the stunned boardroom. "Ethan Cole, you just became the biggest threat in this company. And threats must be eliminated." Board members froze. Some ducked instinctively, unsure if the threat was physical or digital. Alexander's jaw tightened, and he motioned for Ethan to stay calm. Ethan's heart pounded, but his mind raced faster. "They can threaten me all they want, but I already know too much." That night, back in his room, Ethan reviewed the latest security footage Alexander had sent him from the company's servers. At first, it seemed mundane, employees moving papers, checking monitors. But as Ethan zoomed in and applied his custom filters, something became terrifyingly clear. A shadow moved in and out of restricted areas. Digital files vanished, logs were deleted, transactions were covered up. Someone inside Gray Industries was actively erasing all traces of their sabotage. Ethan leaned closer. His fingers flew across the tablet, enhancing the feed. There. A reflection in the glass showed the culprit's face, partially masked, but the posture, the quick, precise movements, unmistakable. This wasn't just an ordinary employee. This was someone trained, someone methodical, someone who knew exactly how to cover their tracks. Suddenly, a notification popped up on Ethan's tablet. Unauthorized access detected. User, Ethan_Cole. Access revoked. The screen went black. Before Ethan could react, a message appeared, bold and read. "We're watching you. If you continue, your life and reputation will be destroyed. Consider this your only warning." Ethan's stomach twisted. They had access to him, and to his life outside the company. The next day, at school, Ethan tried to log in to submit homework. Every portal had been locked. Grades deleted. Attendance falsified. Emails he hadn't even opened were suddenly marked as violations of policy. The sabotage wasn't just financial anymore, it was personal. He clenched his fists. They wanted to intimidate him. To make him back down. To erase his existence. But Ethan was no ordinary 15-year-old. He had patterns. He had foresight. And he had no intention of giving up. He tapped his tablet, bypassing the school firewall. A series of encrypted algorithms scrolled across the screen. If they thought they could erase him digitally, they were wrong. He turned toward Alexander's office via video feed. "Sir," he said quietly, "I know who's inside your company. I just need time. They've started targeting me directly, my life, my records, everything." Alexander's eyes narrowed. "This isn't just a financial game anymore. They want to hurt you, and they'll try. Protect yourself, Ethan. Whatever it takes." Ethan nodded. Determination burned in his chest. Late that night, his tablet buzzed again with a single chilling image. A masked figure holding a phone in one hand and a file labeled Ethan Cole, personal. Ethan's heart raced as he stared at the chilling image on his tablet, the masked figure outside his window, holding a file labeled Ethan Cole, personal. Rain streaked across the glass, the streetlight flickering as though warning him. Somewhere deep in his chest, a pulse of fear throbbed, but he couldn't stop now. He quickly disconnected the feed and barricaded the door with whatever he could find. His mind spun with strategies and contingencies. Whoever this was, they were bold. They were watching. And they were escalating. Hours later, Alexander's emergency call pierced the night. "Ethan, it's worse. The company just lost $200 million in one transaction. My largest partnership has pulled out entirely. We're in freefall." Ethan's fingers flew across his tablet, analyzing patterns and tracing digital footprints. "This isn't just stealing money," he whispered, voice tight. "They're trying to control everything. Someone inside wants the company, not just the cash." Alexander's voice trembled. "Who could? Everyone I trusted is suspect." Ethan leaned back, rubbing his eyes. Every server, every account, every transaction had been manipulated. He realized the sabotage was meticulous, almost surgical, someone with intimate knowledge of the company's systems, someone who knew exactly how to destabilize it without being caught. He pulled up the surveillance footage again. Zooming in on the ghostly movements of the saboteur, he noticed a subtle detail, a recurring pattern in how they approached the server rooms, almost as if leaving a signature. "This person," Ethan muttered, "they want control, not just money. And they're smart. Too smart." He cross-referenced the pattern with the company hierarchy. A shiver ran down his spine. One name kept appearing, someone trusted implicitly, someone nobody suspected. Alexander sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. If this person succeeds, the entire legacy of Grey Industries is gone, and I may be ruined forever. Ethan's gaze hardened. They won't get away with it. We need a plan, something no one expects. That night, as the city slept under a stormy sky, Ethan prepared his countermeasures. Encrypted proxies, remote firewalls, pattern traps, everything had to be perfect. One misstep, and the saboteur would know he was onto them. He glanced at his tablet. Another message had appeared, anonymous and taunting. You think you can stop me? By sunrise, your billionaire friend will beg for mercy, and you will be powerless. Ethan clenched his fists. He had been underestimated his entire life. By classmates, by teachers, by adults who thought he was just a kid. And tonight, he was about to prove them all wrong. A sudden ping startled him. On his tablet, a live video feed appeared. The saboteur was inside Gray Industries, and now, they were holding a laptop with Alexander Gray's financial secrets on it, walking directly toward the company's main vault. The live video feed blurred slightly as the saboteur approached the vault, laptop clutched like a weapon. Ethan's pulse slammed against his ribs. Sweat beaded on his forehead, but his fingers never stopped moving over the tablet. He had to trace the ghost account, and fast. Hours of cross-referencing transactions, hidden authorizations, and server logs had finally given him a lead. A single signature appeared in the shadows of every fraudulent transfer, Caleb Voss. Alexander's most trusted business partner. The man who had stood beside him for years, advising board members, shaping company strategy, the man everyone thought was loyal. Ethan felt the weight of the revelation like a punch to the chest. "This can't be real," he whispered. But the logs didn't lie. Every fake transfer, every ghost account, every sabotage trace, it led straight to Voss. He leaned closer to the screen, zooming in on the vault camera. Caleb Voss moved deliberately, confident, untouchable. Ethan's mind raced. If he exposed Caleb now, the fallout would be catastrophic. A corporate war. Media scandals. Investor panic. And Alexander, already on the edge, could crumble under the truth. But Ethan also knew one thing: doing nothing was worse. The company, the employees, and Alexander's legacy depended on him. He tapped the tablet, sending a discreet alert to Alexander through a secure line. "Sir, it's Voss. He's the one behind everything. I have to act carefully. One wrong move, and it all collapses." Alexander's voice was heavy with disbelief. "Caleb? My partner? The man I trusted most?" Ethan nodded, eyes locked on the live feed. "It's him. He's after the vault now, the proof of everything. If he gets it, he controls the company completely." Alexander's hands clenched into fists. "Then we stop him. Whatever it takes." Ethan dug deeper. Using his custom code, he traced the ghost account through multiple shell accounts, shadow servers, and proxy networks. Each step revealed more audacity, more meticulous planning. Caleb had planned this for months, maybe years, ensuring no one could catch him until it was too late. Ethan's heart raced as he realized the scale of the betrayal. This wasn't just a theft. This was a hostile takeover from the inside. He crafted a digital trap, a fake transaction file designed to lure Caleb into revealing his identity. If Caleb took the bait, Ethan would have undeniable proof. Seconds stretched into minutes as the saboteur neared the vault. Then, Caleb paused. His eyes flicked to a camera, one that shouldn't even exist. A small smirk curved across his lips. He knew. Caleb Voss turned slowly toward the camera, and a chilling voice echoed through the secure feed. "So, the boy thinks he can outsmart me. Let's see how clever you really are, Ethan Cole." Caleb Voss's voice lingered in the secure feed. "So, the boy thinks he can outsmart me. Let's see how clever you really are, Ethan Cole." Ethan's pulse accelerated, but his fingers flew over the tablet. He had no time to hesitate. He designed a trap, the culmination of hours of coding, tracing, and digital misdirection. A fake transfer file glowed on his screen, billions in phantom assets, perfectly designed to lure Caleb into acting. The key: every action he took would leave a trace, a digital fingerprint only Ethan could detect. "This is it," Ethan whispered, tapping the last line of code. "Either we catch him, or he wins everything." Alexander's voice came over the secure line, low and tense. "Ethan, are you sure this will work? If he realizes the trap, it could get dangerous. For you." Ethan didn't flinch. "I have to try. There's no other way." Minutes passed. The phantom transaction sat on the system like a beacon. Then, the logs blinked, someone accessed it. Caleb. He had taken the bait. Ethan held his breath as the digital fingerprint was logged, the pattern revealing Caleb's direct intervention. He was about to have undeniable proof. But then, a sudden alert flashed on Ethan's tablet. Warning, unauthorized access detected. Your location compromised. The hacker, Caleb's team, had traced him. His home network, his school accounts, even his private communications were under attack. Ethan's stomach twisted. They weren't just after the company now. They were coming for him. He bolted from his room, grabbing his backpack, heart hammering. Alexander's secure line buzzed urgently. Ethan, they know your location. Get out. Now. Ethan ran through the stormy night streets, feet slipping in puddles, every shadow a potential threat. Somewhere behind him, engines roared. Black SUVs barreled down alleys he had just passed. He ducked into a narrow side street, clutching his tablet like a lifeline. The digital trap was still active, but how long could it hold? Every second counted. Caleb had noticed the anomaly. The man who controlled the company's inner workings was now hunting a 15-year-old boy. Ethan's mind raced. He had to protect the evidence, protect himself, and make sure Caleb couldn't cover his tracks before sunrise. A hand grabbed his shoulder from behind. He spun, ready to strike, only to see a familiar face. Alexander. Ethan, he panted, we can't do this alone. You've trapped him, yes, but he knows we're onto him. He's sending people to eliminate you, and the trail ends if you die tonight. Ethan nodded, determination flaring. We end this tonight, he said. And we expose him, or we die trying. Sirens in the distance. Shadows moving closer. And through the rain-soaked night, a chilling text appeared on Ethan's tablet. Run, boy, or be erased forever. Caleb Voss's voice lingered in the secure feed. So, the boy thinks he can outsmart me. Let's see how clever you really are, Ethan Cole. Ethan's pulse accelerated, but his fingers flew over the tablet. He had no time to hesitate. He designed a trap, the culmination of hours of coding, tracing, and digital misdirection. A fake transfer file glowed on his screen, billions in phantom assets, perfectly designed to lure Caleb into acting. The key, every action he took would leave a trace, a digital fingerprint only Ethan could detect. This is it, Ethan whispered, tapping the last line of code. Either we catch him, or he wins everything. Alexander's voice came over the secure line, low and tense. Ethan, are you sure this will work? If he realizes the trap, it could get dangerous. For you. Ethan didn't flinch. I have to try. There's no other way. Minutes passed. The phantom transaction sat on the system like a beacon. Then, the logs blinked, someone accessed it. Caleb. He had taken the bait. Ethan held his breath as the digital fingerprint was logged, the pattern revealing Caleb's direct intervention. He was about to have undeniable proof. But then, a sudden alert flashed on Ethan's tablet. Warning, unauthorized access detected. Your location compromised. The hacker, Caleb's team, had traced him. His home network, his school accounts, even his private communications were under attack. Ethan's stomach twisted. They weren't just after the company now. They were coming for him. He bolted from his room, grabbing his backpack, heart hammering. Alexander's secure line buzzed urgently. Ethan, they know your location. Get out. Now. Ethan ran through the stormy night streets, feet slipping in puddles, every shadow a potential threat. Somewhere behind him, engines roared. Black SUVs barreled down alleys he had just passed. He ducked into a narrow side street, clutching his tablet like a lifeline. The digital trap was still active, but how long could it hold? Every second counted. Caleb had noticed the anomaly. The man who controlled the company's inner workings was now hunting a 15-year-old boy. Ethan's mind raced. He had to protect the evidence, protect himself, and make sure Caleb couldn't cover his tracks before sunrise. A hand grabbed his shoulder from behind. He spun, ready to strike, only to see a familiar face. Alexander. "Ethan," he panted, "we can't do this alone. You've trapped him, yes, but he knows we're onto him. He's sending people to eliminate you, and the trail ends if you die tonight." Ethan nodded, determination flaring. "We end this tonight," he said. "And we expose him, or we die trying." Sirens in the distance. Shadows moving closer. And through the rain-soaked night, a chilling text appeared on Ethan's tablet. "Run, boy, or be erased forever."